Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast. It is our birthday month, and if you caught the last episode, you know we watched 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple for Miriam's pick, and this week we're talking about Return to Silent Hill, which was my pick for my birthday pick. But before we get into all of that, Miriam, what are you drinking?
So, before I tell you what I'm drinking, I have to say, really badass blanket behind you. I just noticed it. I was so blah, blah, blahing about everything else. Very cool. I love it.
Thanks. I have I don't know. It's Jade's brother got this for me for my birthday, I think a couple years ago. And there's different characters. So sometimes I rotate, sometimes there's a little Easter egg back there.
But it's Michael.
Yeah.
I like it. I am drinking that tea I talked about from Trader Joe's. I've totally Winter Awake, I think is what it's called.
Ooh, Winter Awake.
I think it's Winter Awake tea or something like that. And it's delicious. So that's what I'm drinking. How about you? And
nice.
Water. I have water.
Oh, always. I drank some British Awake tea a minute ago, but I'm done with it. So now I'm just drinking water.
Nice. Look at us.
Yeah. Look at us.
I feel like, I don't know. We just finished Ted Lasso for the second time. They drink a lot of tea.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling very British right now.
Yeah.
I don't know when tea time is. I feel like it's in the evening, but what else?
Yeah. I think it can also be in the morning or mid-morning.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not even any of those times I just said.
I know.
2 p.m.
Someone who actually has tea time in England is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, just, you know what? Instead, just tell us when it is. And then maybe we'll do this regularly with biscuits and tea.
Yeah. Okay. So what have you been up to? We only talked a week ago. So I don't know
friend.
How much updating we have, but.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of updating. Like I mentioned, we finished Ted Lasso. Last night we watched this supposed series finale and cried and bawled. And then a quote actually that was in that last episode that the character Leslie says was resonant today. And I shared it with somebody to help them through something.
Oh,
I did say, and this is a Ted Lasso quote, but I feel like the quotes from Ted Lasso are very high esteemed because they are meant to hit in a meaningful kind of eye-opening way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I could be making that up, but it was helpful. So that was nice.
What was it?
The quote?
Yeah.
All right. I'll share.
I thought that's where we were going.
Oh, no. I was just, chatting. This is what I said. I removed the name Roy from it, which he does say Roy because that's the character he's talking to. But this is the quote in case this resonates for anyone else. Human beings are never going to be perfect. The best we can do is to keep asking for help and accepting it when you can. And if you keep on doing that, you'll always be moving towards better. And for context, this was a character that asked for advice from his friends on how he was feeling really down about himself. And he keeps trying to work on himself, but he always seems to be messing up and said, how do I just not be me anymore? How do I just become better? Because I think I'm just a piece of shit because I never make the right decisions. And that was the quote. And then I had someone talk to me feeling the same way, really hard on themselves. And I was like, well,
let me bestow some Ted Lasso wisdom on you.
Yes. And it was helpful. So that's good.
That's awesome.
I also watched one thing. It was called One Last Adventure, The Making of Stranger Things. So this is on Netflix right now. It's really good, you guys. If you haven't seen it, it's super fascinating to see how it all came about, how they created the different sets and effects and all of that kind of stuff. It was very cool. I liked it a lot. TT did too, and so did Steve.
That's cool. Maybe I'll watch that today while I'm folding.
Yeah. Fold and watch. It was good. It's fascinating.
Cool.
And I think that is it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Just school and work.
Cool.
Yeah. How about you?
I similarly don't have a ton, just because we talked last week, but we did finish Death by Lightning, that limited series.
Yay.
We had waited to watch the last episode for a very long time because we knew what was going to happen and we didn't want to watch it happen. And eventually we watched it and it was really great.
Nice.
That was a really good series. I'm glad
So
that you
good.
Vouched for it, because it could have been one of those things that I was like, oh, I want to watch that, but we would have never started it, but it was very cool. I liked it.
Good. I'm glad you saw it. Yeah, I kept thinking, wow, I want to vote for Garfield.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's awesome. And then, really haven't been watching anything else. The only other notes is I wanted to play I think I said this in our last recording. I wanted to play Silent Hill 2 between that, last weekend and this weekend, but I didn't get a chance because Stardew Valley has me in a chokehold. So that's what I did with most of my free time this week. And will be probably for the foreseeable future. But then the last thing is I did a sleep study on Friday night, and it was really weird.
Did you sleep there? You stay at a location overnight?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. And people are watching you and stuff?
Dude, they're watching you more than I thought. They literally have a camera on you that just records you sleeping all night. And that is weird.
Yeah, that is so weird. Do you get to see it after?
No, I don't think so. I didn't ask, but
I was just curious,
yeah,
how we move around and stuff like that when we sleep. So now they're going to analyze that, and they're going to,
they're going to just analyze all that data, because it's not just the camera. It's they hook you up to a bunch of electrical, I don't know what they're called, but they get electrical impulses from your muscles and from your brain. They, hook you up they're doing an EEG, I think. And I even had this was the worst part, honestly. I had a nasal cannula, those things they put in your nose for oxygen.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't just that. And it wasn't blowing air, but it had a mouth one too. So I'd have this thing in my mouth all night. And that was, I could have been okay with everything else, but that made it really hard to fall asleep and to stay asleep because it was just so weird. It's just, you don't usually sleep with something keeping your mouth kind of open. It was weird, but yeah, so they'll look at all that information and see if there's anything weird going on with my sleep.
And you did this because, remind me why you did that, because I remember you telling me you were going to do that.
Yeah, I just feel I haven't been sleeping well over the last year or so. I wake up a bunch in the night and I just toss and turn, which is not normal for me. But mostly I will bite my tongue in the night. And I think it might be a sleep apnea thing. That's my theory, as I'm not a doctor. But my jaw will clamp shut, and sometimes my tongue's in the way, and I'll bite it pretty bad, and it'll be swollen, and then I'll do it again because it kind of, you know how when
it's swollen.
Yeah. And so it compounds. So anyway, those were kind of the reasons why I went and did it.
Interesting. So Jade just drops you off. You go into this building. You try to sleep through the night, knowing everyone's looking at you and you're hooked up to stuff. And then you leave the next day.
Yep.
Weird.
Exactly.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Let us know how it goes. I mean, it's your private health information, so you don't have to listen.
Right. No, I don't care.
Well, you tell me, though. You can tell me.
Yeah.
Well, I hope everything is fine.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I hope they figure out what's going on so that you can sleep better.
Yeah, totally. I think that's like the
Yeah.
weirdest part about it is I just keep saying to Jade and friends and stuff, I'm like, in like the weirdest way, I hope that they do find something. Because otherwise it's like, oh, you had a perfect night of sleep. And then there's like no answers or nothing to be done, you know?
Yeah.
So weirdly.
Yeah, find something non-threatening that's easily fixable. There you go.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like when with my migraines and it's just something constant. And of course, I didn't want anything to be wrong with my brain. But it would have been great if he was like, oh, this little muscle right here is pinched. Yeah. Why don't you go to physical therapy and you're going to be good? And then yay.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. You ready to dive in?
I am. I'm ready.
To Return to Silent Hill?
Mm-hmm.
Came out this year, just this weekend, 2026. The director is Cristophe. Gans. I still don't know how you say this. Gans. And I believe he's French. So I'm going to assume it's Gans.
Okay. That sounds right.
Okay. Thank
like
you.
I'm a French expert. I took it in high school and college. That sounds
right.
You
know more about it than I do. So I'm going to defer to you on that. So he is coming back. He's the one who directed the original in 2006 movie adaptation. The writing crew was different, though. The writer of the original didn't return, and Cristophe is one of the writers, in addition to a couple other writers, which just may come in later. So the cast, we have Jeremy Irvine as James Sunderland, Hannah Emily Anderson as Mary Crane, Evie Templeton as Laura. Also, side note, Evie Templeton also voiced Laura in the 2024 game remake of Silent Hill 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I guess they didn't even know because she had signed an NDA when doing the voice work for the game remake. Mm-hmm. And so it just happened to be.
Shut up. They picked the same person. You sound just like the girl in the game. Let's pick you.
She like can't say anything. She's like, yeah, I do. Okay. And then the last one, I wrote Pierce Egan as Eddie Dombrowski. Okay, for scores.
Who was Eddie Dombrowski?
Eddie was the guy he finds throwing up in a toilet.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Okay.
It's fair that you don't remember because he was only in one scene. Okay, for scores, Rotten Tomatoes has this at a 16%.
Oh.
IMDb has a 4.4 out of 10. And Letterboxd, always our most critical, has a 1.8 out of 5.
Wow. Oh,
ouch.
Gosh. It's been a while since we've had a movie where they scored it that low, hasn't it?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there might have been one last year, maybe, but...
Yeah, I feel like Letterboxd usually lands somewhere in the 3...
Yeah, yes.
Something range, yeah. Okay, so then budget. Budget for this was $23 million. Box office, like we talked about last week, it's only the opening weekend. So I think so far it's just showing $2 million. And also for later reference, just if it comes up, the original Silent Hills budget was $50 million. That was 20 years ago.
Wow.
And then the second one that they made, Silent Hill Revelation, was $20 million. And that was in 2012, I believe.
Okay.
Turn back now if you don't want this spoiled for you. However, I'll just note that if you don't feel like watching it, you can listen to this podcast, I think. Yeah, did I say watch it? Yeah. If you don't want to watch it, you can listen to this podcast. I'll tell you everything that happens. Mm-hmm. With this little synopsis. So, Return to Silent Hill follows James Sunderland, a once promising painter now emotionally shattered and struggling with alcoholism after the end of his relationship with Mary Crane. When a mysterious letter from Mary, who he believes to be dead, arrives, James returns to the town of Silent Hill. James confronts horrifying creatures and strange people, including a young girl named Laura, a woman named Angela, and Maria, a flirty woman that looks just like Mary. Through flashbacks showing James and Mary's relationship, we learn that Mary was the daughter of a cult leader in the town, and she was given poison that resulted in her getting sick. Eventually, she asks him to kill her so she can stop suffering, which he does. It's revealed that Laura, Maria, and Angela are all versions of Mary. James takes Mary's body and drives into the lake with her, killing himself. He wakes up back in time when they meet and chooses to take her away from Silent Hill to avoid the fate of her dying. Miriam, what did you think about this movie?
So, we had a good time. Well, Steve and I went together and he was like, oh yeah, I'll go with you. I played that game. And he watched the other ones when we were recording with me. And so, I mean, it didn't make me angry or anything. Like we had a enjoyable time watching the movie, being at the movie theater. I just, I feel very disappointed there wasn't more monsters, and because that's my favorite thing. A little, I don't want to say bored. I wasn't bored. I watched it. But it was just like, well, this is how I explained it to Steve after, which I don't know if this is the right way to explain it, but this is how I thought of it. Do you know when you're listening to a CD or a record back in the day? I don't know if people even hear these things anymore because you just listen to Spotify. But like, I think of Doggy Style by Snoop Doggy Dogg. And in between each song, there's like this little interlude where the guys are talking. And then like, if you guys know what I'm talking about with Gin and Juice, there's this guy talking. He says he has to go take a piss. He starts peeing and then it goes into Gin and Juice. Yeah. For those who know, you know. So this felt like an interlude. I don't know. It felt like this little piece of here's some stuff about this love story maybe, or this. And honestly, I should have watched them again. Because I really, I remember the characters, but at the end of it, and I feel like last time we recorded, I feel like I felt the same way. Like, what is happening? Like, I know there's this town, and you'll probably, I'm sure, because you played the games and everything, will be able to answer these questions. I understood that about this woman, and anyways, I won't get all into it because I need to ask you how you felt. We'll get into it later. I felt kind of like I wasn't upset. I didn't hate it so much that I left upset, but I was disappointed. It was there wasn't a lot of action. The action was like super fast bursts and then it was done. I remember when I saw the nurses because they are and Pyramid Head are my favorite characters. I loved those nurses in the first one. It was by far my favorite character besides Pyramid Head. And they were disappointing to me in this one, very disappointing. So yeah, that's how I felt about that.
Okay.
How about you? Sorry, I went on and on.
No.
How about you?
This movie hurt me.
Okay.
It hurt me.
Oh, it hurt. I was nervous because I wasn't sure. I thought maybe if you were, I wasn't sure. Like if you've played the games and stuff like that, maybe this all felt really nice. I don't know.
No.
But no. Okay.
No. I think the only way that you could enjoy this movie is not having the context of the game itself. So, yeah, very disappointed. Very disappointing. I mean, we just like Jade and I walked out of the theater and we were like standing by the trash can and I was just like sad. And he was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "That was bad." I was like, "That was bad and I'm disappointed." I don't know.
I'm sorry. Because this, I know when you're really looking forward, I don't think I had expectations around it, but I thought of you and I'd wondered because I know how much you love this I was going to say topic, these games, these movies, this story. Oh man.
Yeah, yeah, I do. I love Silent Hill just as a I don't even know what to call it. Like as an art form. I don't know. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean? Because it's like more than a franchise. It kind of is a franchise, but it spans now video games and movies and even music, you know, with the soundtrack being awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I am super disappointed. So I think I've been like oscillating between like being mad and being sad, like about this. So I have a bunch of information. I have also a bunch of just personal thoughts. So I'm not quite sure where to jump in. I think I will start by saying, if you haven't picked up on it now or you just don't know, this movie is a remake of Silent Hill 2, the video game, which came out sometime in the 90s, I think. But then they remastered it and re-released in 2024, which I think I mentioned earlier. And just a couple notes about the game. Silent Hill 2 is often considered to be one of the best horror games and also one of the best video games of all time.
I would agree with that.
It is.
I mean, I haven't even played it, but I'm saying that. I remember I stopped playing it because I was too terrified. So I imagine this is a fucking sick ass game.
It is scary. Like I'm telling you, I mean, I mentioned this a couple episodes ago probably, but I got like 1/3 of the way through it. It is fucking scary. Like, especially coming from just having played Silent Hill F, the newest one. That game was fun and it was creepy, but I forgot about how actually scary it is to play like a true early Silent Hill game. And so it is fucking scary and dark and terrifying. And there's also a lot of jump scares that keeps getting my ass.
It's almost like being in, because all I remember is those things scraping along the ground and when you would start to hear them in the game. And I was like, fuck this, I can't do it. Because you would start to hear it and it was so immersive. I remember even back then, it was so immersive, almost like going through a really terrifying haunted house. It was that same type of a feeling like, I can't do this for me.
Totally. No, same for me. And it's even worse now because on the little PlayStation controllers, there's like a speaker in the controller. And so now the radio static will come through the speaker on there. And so it's like too loud. I actually had to turn it down because it was stressing me the fuck out. I was like, I can't take how loud this is actually.
That gave me cold chills.
Yeah. Anyway, so I just wanted to like set that scene, that stage, right? And I have a bunch of information about the plot of the video game itself, and so that we can look at the differences. I'm also going to spoil the game. So if you don't want it spoiled for you, turn back, come back later. Just one more sort of initial thing I want to say is, as far as like trivia and interviews with the director and stuff, Cristophe Gans clarified that the work was not a direct sequel to both Silent Hill and Silent Hill Revelation, and that his sensibilities had evolved since the release of the first film. He also described the series as an anthology similar to The Twilight Zone, a place where any story could be told, and intended to depict a more psychoanalytic side to the town.
I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe, I guess. I don't. I feel like, so when I was trying to explain to Steve what I remember about Revelations, I remember enjoying Pyramid Head. I feel like the movie was mostly about him. I have no idea what it was about. When I think back, I have no idea what the storyline is. I just remember there was a lot of him and a lot of fighting, and I think he's cool. And then with the first one, I do remember more of the story. And when I think back, because I was looking back at my scores, and I think in the beginning, I had a hard time because I thought, oh, this acting and this is all kind of, I don't know, it didn't jive with me, but there were elements I liked, like the monsters and stuff like that, and the religious aspect. But after we talked, you shared with me how it's almost supposed to be like you're in the video game, watching the video game. So this time around, the acting and stuff did not bother me. And actually, a good thing about this movie is I was so amazed with how they made it look like a video game when they were staring, when there was like those shots of our main guy. What was his name? James. Okay. I call
Jimmy
him
boy?
Jimmy. Yeah, no.
Jim boy.
James, when they're just focused on him, like in the hospital is something that pops up. He's looking out the window.
Yes.
It looks like a fucking video game. And Steve leaned in and he's like, that looks totally. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? That's so cool. And I was staring at it like, is it kind of digital-esque or is it with makeup? So I actually really, when in the beginning, when there were some elements where I was like, this is kind of corny, I thought to myself, actually, this is just like watching those scenes in a video game, and this is pretty cool. So that helped me. But where was I going with this? I felt like, I had totally forgotten how this story fits in to the story with the other guy and the woman and the kid and the orphans and the religious cult and all of that stuff that happened in one. I know there's a religious cult here too, but then this girl, I don't know. I felt like I have no idea what's going on. And so that's why when there weren't a lot of monsters, I was disappointed because I feel like that's really the highlight of these movies.
Totally. I am not surprised you felt that way. I felt like people who did watch it probably without the context of the video game would be super lost on like what is going on, because it is its own story, sort of separate and apart from the rest of the games and movies. Like,
okay,
we'll get into it more, but the game doesn't have any of the cult stuff in it. It's just the story of this man and his journey through like dealing with his own guilt and grief over the death of his wife.
Okay.
So it is like when he says it's kind of like the Twilight Zone, he's not wrong, because for sure it's like
different.
Yeah, a different story. And I think where this went so wrong was that it tried to keep the story of Silent Hill 2 while also trying to tie back in the cult stuff way too much. Like, I like the cult stuff. I think it could have been good if there was still some nods to that, but it could be like way in the background. It could be like you see their symbols around town or something really subtle. We really did not have to take our main character, or one of our main characters, Mary, and like make her part of the cult somehow. Like,
is her story in the game that her dad was the leader of this cult and he poisoned her?
No.
Oh, okay. Do you know why she died, or no? It's just his guilt of him leaving and coming back, and she was dying.
In the movie, like,
well, in the game, you had mentioned it's his guilt about her dying.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe now is the time. Maybe I just tell you all about it.
Can I ask you this? Because you mentioned the Twilight Zone, and I had seen all of those. My mom was so into them when I was a kid, so I saw all of those. Because now that you said that, so Silent Hill is a place where stories happen. So it's not like just a story of Silent Hill and the woman and the kid and the cult in the first one. It's like that is one story that happened. And so Silent Hill is like this place where weird things happen when people visit.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. And the guy, James, is not the guy in the first one.
No.
Okay. So he's not going back. Okay. That's helpful.
I mean, he's going back to Silent Hill in the way that they lived there.
Oh, yeah. But not in like whatever happened in the first one.
Right.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
So maybe we'll put a pin in the rest of the video game stuff for now. But I think that gives, what I was going to answer. This is what I'm going to say, and then we'll put a pin in it. To answer your original question, in the game, James does smother Mary, but she's just sick. She's just, we don't know. She's terminally ill somehow. But he smothers her because of her terminal illness. And he does it for selfish reasons. Like, he doesn't want to take care of her really anymore.
Oh, shit.
And so he
That's
obviously
bad.
feels guilty about that.
Yeah, you piece of shit.
Yeah. So you like play this game, the experience of playing the game, you play him all the way through. And then you're like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
This guy's an asshole.
Can I ask, so is Silent Hill a state of mind? Because like, I was confused if he was actually going to Silent Hill or if he was like schizophrenic or losing his mind. I shouldn't even say schizophrenic because I don't even know when I'm saying that. I don't even know what that means. I think what I mean by that is like you see things that aren't there and you're like in this totally different reality when you're not really in that reality. Or is it actually a place he's going to? Is he Pyramid Head? Why was he like, I'm like, there's so much that at the end I was like, did that all happen or did that not happen? Did he die and then he was in heaven and there's like this, oh, we're rewriting, history because we're in heaven together now? Or did he get to reset some sort of magical weird thing that happened and he gets to go off with her? I asked you a lot of questions that span the entirety of the movie, but this was kind of where my mind, I don't know if there's even answers to that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so here, I think we'll keep the same sort of plan. We'll put a pin in the video game stuff.
Okay.
And so we'll just talk about the movie.
Sorry.
No.
There's a video game. Okay.
You're fine. I feel bad. Like, I don't know, like being a huge nerd too soon in this episode. Let's talk about the movie and then I'll
never
nerd
too
out.
soon to be a nerd, but
in the movie, I think that is the intent, is that he is struggling mentally. And so he continues to like wake up, you're not really sure of the timeline. It's unclear. And I think what I got from it, and tell me, I don't know that there was any other read really, but it was hard to parse together, is that she got sick. He left for a period of time and then he came back and like, that's what he felt guilty about. And in the movie, she asks him to kill her. Mm-hmm. So he does. And then like, but then you've kind of done it as a mercy situation. But I think both in the movie and in the video game, Silent Hill is a place. And he does return there somehow. Now, I don't know if that's just in his mind or physically somehow. Who knows? It's up in the air. It's not answered by the movie.
Did he even really leave? Because there's a point where he wakes up and she's like, you're in Lakeview Hospital in Silent Hill and it's all pretty and stuff. So is it a place you can go and not be in that disgusting place? Like just a town that normal I don't know. I don't know what normal is, but people could go and visit Silent Hill for a day. Are there people still living there or is it?
Apparently. I mean, because of that, unless that was also in his head, I don't know.
Okay.
It was very ambiguous.
Because I knew it was a nice place. Well, not really. Because there was those weird cult people that seemed like they ran the whole town. But there was a lot of people walking in the street. So maybe they didn't run everybody.
Yeah.
And then it was bad. Because it burned in the first one too, right? Yeah. Was this the same reason why it was destroyed in the first and this one? Or different reasons why it was destroyed? When the people were like, oh, because the toxic water and all of that sort of stuff in this one.
Yeah, no, that's like a totally different.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's a totally different reason given in this movie. And also everybody seems to, be sick for some reason. I'm not really sure. Maybe it is like the toxic water, but where did that come from? I don't know. Okay. So many questions.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a couple of positive notes from the beginning of the movie. So the beginning of the movie, like, it wasn't great. And I was sitting there thinking, like, okay, this is not a great start, but like maybe we'll pick it up as we move on, But we didn't. The beginning was the best, I think, part of the whole movie. because that overlook where he's like standing there at the beginning and where he like meets her looks so perfect compared to the video game. Like that was a great. Jade even leaned over and he was like, "Do you think they built this set or found it? Because it looks exactly like it does in the game."
Oh wow.
And I was like, I don't know, honestly, but I loved that. I loved the guy getting melted by the acid. That looked gory and crazy and good. The first couple of like jump scares really got me, actually. I jumped quite a lot. I think a lot of that was due to the music. Like it was very loud and jarring, but I usually don't jump. But there was some really cool, creepy stuff in the beginning. Like the when he's in the apartments and he turns around and there's like, I think it's supposed to be Mary, but that's a jump scare. And then there's like a person that like fades off into the background. That was all creepy. I was like, cool. I'm excited for more of this because this is like a legitimately scary environment. Not super Silent Hill scary, but like I'll take it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then that just like, it just went away. It just like never came back. And I liked the creepy moth bust. I thought that looked unique and creepy. And that is like one of the locations in the video game is you end up going in a room where there's a bunch of moths and you have to do like a moth puzzle to get out. And they're like flying around and stuff. It's cool. So those were my pros from the beginning of the movie.
Okay, I can give you my pros.
Okay.
Those are good pros. I also liked all of those things. Oh, before I go into my pros, I have to tell you this. When we got to the movie, the trailers were already playing and there was a dad and his had to be max 5-year-old son.
Ooh.
4 or 5.
No
joke. Like baby with a whoopee. Like
what?
5. Yeah.
Baby
no
with
joke.
a whoopee.
A whoopee.
I don't know what that means.
A whoopee
What
is like a blankie. Sorry.
Okay.
I think I always called it a whoopee because of that movie. Oh my gosh, with Michael Keaton, I think it is, where he is the stay-at-home dad. Old movie, and his kids called it a whoopee. So, anyways, okay. Anyway, that is.
Thanks for clarifying.
Blankie. Yeah, he did. He had a blanket, and he was little 5.
Yeah.
And so when I walked, because they were in the front of our row, when I walked in, I thought, oh shit, are we in the right theater? Because that's how little. And my kids watch scary movies. No, that was the movie. And I kept glancing down he was like right at the bar, because we were sitting at where there's bars right before like the seats that are marked for handicap. And he was standing there watching it. The only time I noticed the dad pulled him back and covered his eyes was when she was lifting up her skirt and there was hands on her thighs towards the end. But other than that,
bro,
yeah, I know. And at the end of it, I looked and the kid just popped up and was there. They was talking to his dad, like, and
totally
they
fine.
Waddled out.
That's crazy,
right?
That would have scarred me for life if I had seen that at 5.
Like I was like, either this kid's just real badass or might be a little questionable how he grows up. Does he have a conscience? I don't know. This was crazy because I was thinking about TT, who is 11, and watching 28 years later and how terrified she was and how I thought, oh, here's the thing she's going to talk about, how I've totally terrorized her. Yeah. So anyways, just thought I should tell you that because no mistaking that kid was at least at the max 5.
That's crazy. That's
very crazy.
Interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pros. I had mentioned how it looked like a video game. I thought that was a trip. I'm curious how they did that, if it was makeup or there was some sort of overlay, digital overlay or whatever, mainly to the face. I know the world and stuff, of course. Loved the monsters, even though we didn't get very much of them. I loved being able to see that thing that spit out poison from its chest. And when they're hiding behind the car and you actually get to see what it's almost like, how its hands are around its butt. It's like all encased in like I don't know, like in a cocoon
sort
of thing. It was super fucking cool. Loved the visuals. I loved the moth. I thought to myself when there was this shot from far away where he is looking out over the balcony and you see the balcony above and there's like this silhouette of a person, that would make a really cool movie poster. Very, very cool.
Why didn't they? Why didn't they do that? Because that's ripped straight from the game. There's like the whole time you're walking around. I think it's called like Woodside Apartments. That's the first apartment building you go to in the game. The whole time you're walking around there is a courtyard and there's an orange lit window with the silhouette of somebody standing there. And so I like that was well done. And I agree. Why didn't they use that for the poster? Because the posters that they did come up with are bad, dude.
Yeah.
Like I found out the images that you grabbed for Silent Hill, that actually was from Silent Hill 3. Or sorry, Silent Hill Revelation 3D.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll definitely remake those. Yeah, after watching, I was like, well, none of that stuff was in there.
Right. So the posters are just of the like Silent Hill sign with him walking through the foggy street. And then the other one is that like sort of, it's kind of like a Y shape, just looking through the crack. Those are like the posters for this movie. And they're like not good at all.
No.
Like you could have done a lot cooler shit than that.
Yeah, that would have been a really cool poster. But I did like a lot of those things, a lot of those elements. Those visual elements were scary. I thought her moth self was pretty cool. Really, when she was in the bed, the bed was like on the ceiling and the sheets opened up and there was that face coming up. Fucking cool. Lots of really cool elements like that. And let me see. Anything else?
Yeah,
I think that's it.
I agree with you. I think a lot of the visual, like the production design and some of the artistic sort of choices.
The bugs on the glass.
Yeah.
Doors going like that that was cool too.
How that was like a wave. Yeah. I liked that. Like some of this stuff was really cool and I liked it. There was like the silhouette of the mannequin with the moths all around it. And so that was interesting.
Yeah,
looking.
and it was like vibrating or I was like, oh shit, what is behind that? And he's just opening the door. But
yeah,
I
he seemed
been
not
like,
scared at all.
Maybe not.
Yeah. And then agreed. I just want to tack onto yours. Like in the very beginning when he's looking in the mirror, that is very also ripped straight from the video game. I don't know how they made it look so much like a video game, but it's cool. And the scene with Angela where she's like laying in the room with the knife also looks really similar. I'll have to do a little roundup of like screenshot comparisons from the video game to the movie, because some of that stuff was neat. Like I have to give it up for that. I think that was like the best part of this movie is some of the, art design, production design, and the music, of course, because it's the same guy who does the music all the time. Akira Yamaoka is who has done like all the Silent Hill music.
I have to say, in the beginning, this is very small, but what popped into my head, and then Steve said it out loud. And I thought, well, quietly, but out loud. And I was like, fucking yeah, right? Okay. So the guy, James, he almost hits a head-on collision and hits her suitcase, right? Blah, blah, blah. So the bus is coming. It is pulling to a stop. It is pulling up to the bus station to stop. And she runs in front of the bus and goes, stop, stop. And I thought, why the fuck did she do that? And it's just, I know it's small, but here's the thing. Like, I don't know. I feel like as a storyteller in general, you don't want to do things that pull people out of the story and make you think that, right? But I didn't say anything. And then Steve goes, I mean, the bus was fucking pulling up to the stop. And I was like, yes, right. So when it happened again at the end, we both chuckled because it's such a bizarre reaction. And again, the acting is, poor, but it seems like just like if you were watching a video game you know, when they are doing these different things. So then I was like, okay, then that helped it be a lot better. But just that one piece was
so weird. Also, then she immediately goes, okay, go on. Never mind.
Yeah.
Because her suitcase pops open again. It's like,
Yes.
dude, that could be solved in like 20 seconds. Like, it's fine.
So when I thought, oh, he's crazy, maybe that didn't even happen. But then it happens again at the end. So then I was like, no, maybe it did happen. And she's just weird. She's just absurd. Because it seemed like she was trying to trap him. It almost seemed like it didn't seem like a show. It seemed like weird. What's going on? But then she was like, oh, the Silent Hill storm is coming. I'm going to go back home now. You should. Oh, I'm going to go back with you. Oh, like I thought maybe is she a monster that is, you know, messing with his mind or something? I thought possibly. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, that scene gets really weird really quick. And I do think that's supposed to be like the dream that he's having, right? Because he wakes up in the bar.
Yeah, he wakes up at the bar. Mm-hmm.
So I bet the intent is that is what happened. A storm rolled in and she was like, oh, these are usually like pretty bad. And then they fucking went on down to Silent Hill and that was it. Because then you get the weird, I don't know. I don't remember what she says, but there's this weird, like, her eyes are all white and it's weird and crazy. Anyway.
Yes.
There were so many moments like that in this movie. I don't even think I wrote them all down, but I wrote down a few because I felt like there were so many weird fucking decisions made by the characters in the movie. And I feel the same way about the movie, like making the movie itself, but I'll just add to those because I think it's in the same vein. Like when he's running around the hospital, he like breaks off like a wheelchair arm to use as a weapon. I was like, that was like the weirdest thing you could have chosen to do. Like, why? There's gotta be, I was like, just give me a lead pipe. It's like one of the classic Silent Hill weapons. You could even give me a lead pipe, have him use it, drop it, and find other lead pipes. Like, that's fine. I love it. It's a nod to the game. It makes sense. But like, why are you what? The arm to a wheelchair? What kind of weapon is that? That's such a weird. And like you were saying, like you can, I'll give you a pass on a couple of these, but if they happen consistently throughout the movie, it feels way off. And you're like, who the fuck made these choices? Like when he smothers her with a towel. Wasn't this weird?
Yes.
So many of these moments were like borderline funny because they just were fucking weird.
Yeah, with a washcloth. You just and then
right over her face.
Yeah.
What? Why? I mean, in the game, he smothers her with a pillow, which is normally the thing you smother people with. And, you know, I tried to even...
normally you would do that, not a freaking rag.
Not a rag.
Yeah.
Okay. And I also tried to work through this in my head. I'm like, okay, let's pretend like he did use the pillow. Would that have been better? Like, no, it still would have been fucking weird and kind of funny. But you know what they could have done? I'm out here solving problems. I think if they had her take some kind of sedative or something first, and then he smothered her, like that would be dark and terrible and not funny. Because I think it would be really hard actually to be smothered. I think you would fight back.
You would fight back naturally.
You just wouldn't allow yourself to die. And so if she really wanted that and she sort of set it up to be that way and then he smothered her with a pillow, I think that would not have been funny. But unfortunately, he's like wiping her nose with a rag and then he's like, okay.
Yeah, and he doesn't do that very good of a job either.
No.
He's wiping her nose, there's blood all over her mouth and stuff. I thought to myself, there's a little
great
over
point
here. Maybe you just want to wipe that off too. I don't know. If Steve was taking care of me, wiped some blood off my nose and then smeared it on my mouth and just like left it there, I'd be like, do you love me?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Just clean it off a little bit, please.
I need you to do a little bit more of a better job here.
Yeah, I like that idea of the sedative. I won't say where, because I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but I saw that in a show. And I thought, oh, I've never seen that before. So the person took a lot of sedatives, just to, not a lot, but just to go into a deep sleep. And then the person smothered them. It was a painful, dark scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I must have seen this too. That must be where I pulled that out of my brain.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, okay. And then the last one that I wrote down was just, there's a lot of cowering instead of running away or like reacting to things. I was just surprised. He like falls down and covers his head as rats are running all over him. Like, dude, get up and run away. Like, there's just a lot of that. There's a lot of cowering and
in the closet too with Pyramid Head.
Yes. And like, I know that happens a lot in movies, but like, I don't know. Just again, there's too many moments like that where you're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Sure.
They did a good job with Angela's makeup because I did not realize that she was the same character. Of course, with the other one, the Maria, you could tell. But with Angela, I did not put two and two together.
I didn't either. And actually, I feel like maybe this was intentional, but I'm not sure. She looked kind of like the characters from the first movie, Dahlia and Alessa. Mm-hmm. And actually, I had to go back and look up their names because I thought maybe her name was Angela and this was Angela from the first movie later, because she looks so much like those two characters. But no, she's a different person. She just kind of has that Silent Hill look, Yeah. Yeah, I agree, though. I was like, I didn't realize it was her until way later.
Yeah. I did not. We actually, both of us did not like that little girl. Didn't like her. I'm sorry, little girl. You may be a wonderful actress, but I just hated seeing that character. She was irritating. She was not cute. She was, and I was like, oh, here's she again. And then she's like, I don't know. Just everything she did, I didn't like her. I didn't like her. She was not scary. Oh, I'm going to crawl over the sofa, or I'm going to talk like this, like I'm a baby. You're not cute. You're not scary. I didn't like this character. And it's not the little girl that played it. Maybe it's just the character in general. I don't know. I vaguely remember liking the one in the first one. So like, I don't know why we have to have this. Why do we just have to have this kid again? We had a kid already.
Right. Yeah.
Like, can't maybe Mary only have two names? And so then we don't need the kid character. I didn't really like Maria either.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the one with the knife, and it was traumatic to see her and no one's going to touch me again. No one's going to hurt me. And that was disturbing and all of that. So she was cool. And then the regular Mary, but yeah, maybe they could just have her be named Mary Angela, and then cut out the other, like the sexified one and the kid.
Totally.
Unless they're in the game, obviously. If they're in they are in the game, right? You're saying, yeah. Okay, then I guess we need them. But
I don't think so. I mean, again, if you're going to make the decision to fundamentally change the like plot of the game for the movie, like just go all in.
True.
Change it enough so that it doesn't feel like it's like this weird bastardization of it. I don't know. I agree with you. I didn't really like any of these extra characters. Like, yeah, Laura's not great. She is in the video game. I think she was like kind of too old. Like they were really dressing her down and trying to make her talk. I think it was a lot of the direction. It was like they were trying to make her seem a lot younger than she actually looked. And that was weird because in the game, she is pretty young. She's like much younger. But can we talk about, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's exactly it. Because one thing is kind of a pet peeve for me is when adult ass people or even older people who shouldn't be talking like babies talk like babies.
Yeah.
I hate it. So that is spot on. Because when she's on the fence or not really fence, but the wall, and she's like, I was scared because I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
right now.
Totally. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Even in the game, she's like not like, she is much younger, but she doesn't talk like that either. I mean, the first introduction you get to her is like, there's like a key on the other side of a grate, like on the other side of a metal bars. And he's like trying to grab him, and she runs out of nowhere, kicks him out of the way, and says, "You never loved Mary." The fucking runs off. Which I'm not saying isn't weird, but I am saying she's like mean spirited, at least so far in the game. She's a mean little girl, you know? So why do we make her this like cowering, weird? Yeah, I agree. It's very frustrating. But anyway, what I was about to say was, can we fucking talk about Eddie? Because I feel like the acting from people is not great, but I was okay with the acting from James and Mary. But this guy by far was the absolute worst actor in the entire movie. I couldn't handle it. I was like, I'm glad that they didn't bring him back because he was so bad. He was so bad.
I must not have even logged him much. I remember him puking. I remember he was super gross. I remember him saying, "Man, I wouldn't do that." Oh, yeah. Because then when he like, does he kick him? He kicks him. He's like, blah, blah, blah. And he's like hitting him, blah. And then he runs away. Yeah, that guy.
What? I feel like he was only there for exposition. Like he was only there to do an exposition dump to sort of be like, oh, there was this sickness and everybody in the town, blah, blah, blah. And like, now everybody's got, like, I can fucking see that. I can see that with my eyes.
Yeah.
So far in this movie. So I don't need you to tell me that that's what's happening. And then, yeah, he just like never comes back. He's like such a weird, he's such a weird addition to this movie. He isn't also in the game, but
he is or isn't?
He is.
He is. Okay.
And he's also weird in the game, but like in a different way. There's like a very funny scene of him, like he comes across him in a bowling alley eating a pizza, and there's, I don't know, like memes about it online and stuff, just because it's really awkward the way the first movie line delivery was. He says something like, I think he yells pizza or something, I don't know, it's weird. And so they took that out for the remake when they redid it in 2024. But also on the topic of Laura, what the fuck is with that like weird baby doll that she has? I like don't even know. That doesn't connect to like anything at all.
Okay, I was wondering. I preferred the baby doll to her. Yeah. So this is a new monster-ish thing that they added.
Yeah, totally not part of the game story. Not part of the games at all that I remember, you know?
Yeah, who's the baby? You're right. The baby didn't even have, like, it wasn't, Mary had a stillbirth or a twin that died at birth, or like, I'm just trying to figure out like what this baby, no, it was just this element to try to make it creepy.
Yeah.
The jump scare that you had said where you think it was Mary, when you turn around and there's a face, I screamed out loud, and the guy next to me, he laughed. Enjoyable, like we do when people scream and get scared and love it. That was me. I gave the theater joy. I wasn't expecting it because it was kind of so slow. And when there was something scary, there was buildup to it. Like those things take quite a while to walk towards you, so
right.
It wasn't like it ran up on you. Sorry, my mind is like ping, 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 ping. Those things that squirt the poison out of their chest. Are those the things in the game that are scraping along the ground?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I was wondering. Yeah. I had just mentioned that to Steve. I didn't know if that was the same thing or not.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you'll hit them a few times and then they fall down on the ground and then they skitter around super fast. They're fucking hard to hit. It's terrible. Yeah, it's awful. So I really liked in the beginning when they are outside and he encounters that first one. Or wait. Yeah, I think it is the first one. And it like crawls under the car.
Yeah.
Because that's like how it is. And you're like, ugh, it was creepy.
It's
and then
super
it like
creepy.
Slid into the ground. I was like, ew, I like hate that, but I also love it. That's great.
Yes, I hate that, but I also love it.
That was good. Yeah. Yeah, and they do spray acid everywhere, which is fucking annoying. Because those things have almost killed me a lot of times in the game.
What did you think about the nurses in this one?
I agree. It was very disappointing. It was like,
don't the nurses start moving when you're not looking at them? Am I remembering that correctly, or is it?
It's
noise.
It's more that
Okay.
It's more that noise and light attracts them, and so if you're super quiet, you can move around them. That's how it was in the movie, at least the first movie.
Yeah.
That's not how it is in the game. I mean, they just are constantly rambling around, gonna fucking cut your ass. But yeah, they really like didn't use them in the same way.
Are they made out of porcelain in the first one too? I didn't remember that.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, that was like a different. That's another good. Why did we do that? Why did we make them porcelain? I don't know. Very confusing. But yeah, I feel like there was just a few shots of them, just a few wide shots of them walking from the front and from the side. And it was all very underwhelming. It didn't make them look cool or scary or like a threat at all. And that's a fucking bummer.
I agree, because I was waiting. And when they had said, or I don't remember who said, but said that she was in the hospital, that Mary was in the hospital. Maybe it was that little kid. I thought, oh, he's going to the hospital. There's going to be those nurses. I was so excited for it.
Yeah. And then it just,
nope.
We're like, it's so fast.
I heard the guy next to me laugh when James was in the elevator pressing the buttons, and he just went, and I was like, yep. Like, yeah, in any planet that it ended up working. But in what world would you imagine that this elevator was in working order? I don't know why you would
totally
go to the elevator. It ended up working, but I'm just saying, why would you go to that elevator and start like there's no light even coming out of the buttons. It is just corroded. It ended up working, for their benefit, but
yeah, well, I was also like, okay, set that aside even. You already hit the button, it didn't fucking work. You're going to have to go with a plan B, dude. Like,
yes.
What? We're just going to stick with plan A, which is get this to work. It didn't work. Just do something else.
Yeah, and didn't one of the nurses come in and stab the girl? That was all very kind of, I don't know, weird and awkward too. It was, there wasn't this, oh my God. Get away. It was just like he smashed them, and then she comes in and goes, and she goes, yeah. And then he's in, and then they go down, and then he carries her. I don't know.
Yeah, she's somehow not concerned about dying from this insane wound.
Yes.
Which was gross. I feel like there's a few good gory moments in this movie. This is one of them where you're like, oh, she's like blood is like pouring out of this wound.
Yeah, I think everyone in the theater went, oh, when they saw it.
Oh, we're going to fucking die.
Even the interactions between him and her, James and Maria, and she's just like, stay here. And he's like, oh, and then he lumbers up. And then she's like, where are you going? What are you doing? And then he starts lumbering down the hallway. Then he turns into Pyramid Head and stabs her. Or like he's not Pyramid Head, but then he is, right? Because he looks at the mask, and it isn't the mask behind his own eye. And why?
Yeah, you read
just
that
like,
right.
I don't know. I don't understand. What is this all about, Tawny?
Yeah, I mean, in the game, it is that way, but it's that way because it's like, let me find my note. Pyramid Head is created because James felt like he needed someone to punish him.
Oh.
And so he's kind of like a manifestation of his psyche, and so are the rest of the monsters. Like the rest of the monsters are sort of sexualized, which is true, I think, of the other games too, but like this one in particular, it is kind of like, and I think with Maria being sort of flirty and like sexual towards him is like representation. They're both kind of representing his sexual frustration like while Mary is sick.
Oh. Yeah, because you're right. Like even that spider thing, they had a lot of shots of its butt.
Yeah. I hated that.
So
I hated that. So much.
Perfect little round butt.
So much jiggly butt.
Jiggly butt.
I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, so there is a scene in the game that it's similar to the one that we saw in the movie where he hides in a closet and he watches Pyramid Head come into the room with one of the like other monsters. And the insinuation is kind of that he is raping this monster.
I was wondering if he was going to rape it, but it looked like he was just crushing it in the movie, right?
Yeah, I think that scene though is a nod to that scene in the game.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of like that.
Oh, yeah. I thought he was going to start raping it, and I immediately thought of the little 5-year-old kid over there watching this.
Yes. You were like, oh my God, that kid is going to be fucked up. Dude.
Yes.
Yeah, but they actually ended up taking it out of the remake. I've played past that part and it doesn't happen anymore.
Okay.
They removed it, I think, because it's just really fucking dark and vulgar. But again, I think the intent there is for it to represent like this hyper masculine like version of himself almost, you know? So it makes sense in the video game from that I mean, kind of, right? It's a little bit of a stretch for sure. Like, but the movie especially is like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I love these explanations because that makes a lot of sense. If these things are just like the different ways we torture ourselves. So that's a really cool way to think about it. When you said that he was created to torture him, how we torture ourselves when we feel bad about things.
Yeah.
Which I also agree with you in going back a little bit that they absolutely should have stayed. Well, they should have stayed with the video game, period, because it sounds a lot better. And that he had killed her because in a selfish way, that would make more sense. Because I did wonder, he was racked with this horrendous guilt for leaving her behind when in the movie, 100% justified. That was a toxic fucking relationship. No one, I feel, in their right mind would stay in that relationship in that weird fucking town with that. Yeah, I get like, she's like, I don't know, just leave it alone. This is my family. I'm sorry. You have shit to work through. I would not feel guilty about leaving. I'm telling you right now, if I was dating that person, they were like not willing to change. I walked down into this underground. I followed her into an underground cavern where there was a cult where they were wiping themselves with her blood. And she was like, just try to ignore it. I am no longer in this relationship. And I don't think he did anything wrong by leaving. That's why it doesn't make sense that he feels so guilty about leaving. She made the choice to stay and let these people do this to her, not as a kid, but now she's a grown-ass adult. She already tried to leave so she can leave again with him. And she's like, no, I just need to stay here. They're good people. We need to let them drink my blood. That's how it is. I would have left. And if I found out, she's dying, and I went back and just to say my goodbyes, I would not feel guilty about that. I wouldn't be like, hey, I'm so sorry I left. No, I'd be like, I'm so sorry you didn't come with me.
Yeah, you should have come with me.
I would not have felt guilty about it at all. So it didn't really make sense that he felt so guilty that he was in the real world drinking himself to death and getting into fights and stuff like that. Over what?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't think about it that I didn't follow that thought all the way through about like, yes, him leaving actually did make logical sense and was nothing really to feel bad about. the problem is this movie is trying to have its cake and eat it too. It's trying to have the like guilt of the video game without the actions that would cause someone to feel that guilt. Yeah. And I think they were afraid of that, which I understand. It's really hard to have a main protagonist that is you can't root for. And so that for sure would have been a cinematic challenge. I don't really know how you overcome that, but that's like, I think what makes this video game plot so memorable and so important, I think, in like the genre is because they don't really pull their punches as far as what he did and why. And yes, he feels bad about it. So he's not like a complete psychopath, you know, he's like a morally gray character. But yeah, they really tried to like fix that, but in doing so completely like neutered all of the reason for any guilt at all.
Excellently said. And I think it is possible. There's a lot of shows and movies I feel that I can't bring to my mind where there is a bad character or a character that does not make the right decisions that has a character arc. And there's one, and I don't want to mention the name, but maybe people know what I'm talking about. It is like one of the most popular animated movies at this time. And if you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. That's exactly what happens is there's one character who does some really selfish, shitty, plain, just completely selfish to their family. I don't even want to give it a gender, so I don't want to give anything away. Okay. Their family, and is racked with guilt about making that decision. And you come to still care for that character in the end. And there's not even a full explanation of how they could have done that and why they could have done that. But they did. They were young and they made that horrible decision, but they're a character you end up loving at the end.
Yeah, I agree. I think you could get there. That's a good point because, I mean, caretaking for somebody who is like super terminally ill, like it is something that really weighs on people heavily. It's a really hard thing, especially over a long period of time. And so I think you could have made that happen and still be selfish and still not totally hate him as a character.
Yeah.
You know,
I agree.
I think if they had just focused on that, like it could have been so much better.
Yeah. Cause maybe she was complaining a lot. Like she was saying things like, oh, I wish that God would just take me. Or she wakes up one morning and she's like, oh, you know, some mornings when I wake up, I just wish that I hadn't. Or she was saying these types of things. And so maybe it made him feel justified in what he did when really, no, it's not, because he wants to do it for selfish reasons, and he's just looking for a reason for it to be justified. But you can do all of these types of things and make it work. Yeah,
totally. I agree. They should not have. I wonder if that was like, I wonder where somebody along the way made that decision and said like, no way, we're not doing that. And that is, I think, one of the main downfalls of this movie.
Yeah. You're doing so much dark stuff in it. It's already so gross and dark. All of these different elements. That's really the thing you're going to be worried about?
Yeah. And like, I'm not I understand that sometimes you have to make some changes. You have to make some decisions, and it's not going to be exactly the same as the plot. Like, I loved the first movie. That was kind of an amalgamation of some of the plots from different movies, and it was a little bit of, you know, sort of, I don't know, like a sister movie or something. Like, it wasn't completely ripped from one of the plots, kind of. But like, this decision, I think that the one, it's so critical. It's like so critical to the whole story, and it's just so disappointing. I'll stop harping on that. But God, it hurts, you know? Ugh. I feel like now is a good time to give you more detail about the video game plot and
Yeah.
who all of these characters are.
Oh, God, yeah.
And their version of things. Because I think it like makes a lot of sense in the video game again, but not so much in the movie, especially with the choice to make like 3 of the characters all just marry. Which, by the way, can I just say, the reveal of him looking at that tombstone with like the 4 first names really fucking... That was another moment where I was like, this was not supposed to be funny, but it fucking is because it's ridiculous.
So many names.
Mary, Angela, Laura, Crane. I was like, that was, I think I had to roll my eyes actually in the theater.
I'm excited you're going to do this because when we left, I said, you know what? I said to Steve, I'm really excited that Tawny is doing the research for this because she's going to explain all this stuff.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, kind of. I don't really have answers for why they made these fucking weird decisions, but okay, so I can tell you that Angela in the game seems to kind of have the most like fleshed out information. So she is a runaway looking for her mother. And you find out through playing the game that she was raped by her father and then killed him and ran away to Silent Hill. And in the last interaction you have with her, she leaves or she doesn't leave, but she like leaves James on a stairway, like, and everything's on fire. And she mentions that it always looks like that to her. So James is like, well, you know, something about the fire. And she's like, oh, you can see it too. This is how it always is for me. So it is, like you said earlier, Silent Hill really is a place. And these people get like pulled into its orbit and do have things that they torture themselves with, or that it's like purgatory, you know, you find yourself in a loop. Yeah. So the second video game has a bunch of these like extra stories that these people have gotten sucked in or are looping in Silent Hill. And so for Angela, the only other note I have on that is that there's a monster called Abstract Daddy, and it's the one where James like I don't even remember what happened. He like falls into something and there's like a big fleshy table almost, but there's
God.
You can tell it's like a person.
Yeah, it was right after she said he won't stop touching me, and those hands were on her thighs and then pulled him down.
That's right. Yes. And so you can kind of see that connection, right? Like he's like a weird fused person in a bed, but also like with another person. And so this is like the representation of her trauma with this. And so
oh yeah, that's great. Okay.
Yeah. But it's really specific to Angela and her character, not, you know, and you do run into it in the game and stuff, but everyone's version of Silent Hill is like they're sort of manifesting these things from their psyche or from their trauma.
Oh, that's so much better. Why don't they just do this? This is phenomenal. So, I mean, maybe they did do it. Is Angela, this character you're talking about, the same person as Maria and Laura? And are they all one? Okay, why don't they just do this? Look, they have like 15 movies out of just what you're telling me, because when I saw that thing and it sounded like before you saw it that maybe that would be what was going on, like some rape. And then so I was nervous. And then you see this thing and totally get what you're saying, but I don't know why, because I thought that too. I thought, if this is that girl that her dad was this religious cult and then he was poisoning her, was he also raping her? Because that she did. Like, I was so confused about this situation, but hearing that makes it so much more meaningful and disturbing because it makes it make sense.
Yeah, totally. And again, I think just too many moments they tried to play it both ways. They tried to keep the parts about the video game while also holding to this totally made up thing that she was the daughter of this cult and that all of these like characters are the same character. Like it completely convolutes the entire thing. Like,
yeah.
I can't wrap my head around the decision to do that. And so that's also why you see when James is like running around at some point, everything's on fire.
Yeah.
But again, just like, if you're going to commit to the fact that these 3 people are all the same people, don't have in the rest of that shit that was specific to their separate stories. Take out the fire, take out the like abstract daddy, take out, Angela being raped. Just if you're going to commit to that, which I think was a fucking poor idea, then strip out the shit that doesn't make any sense anymore. Like, I'm like flabbergasted about like how these choices were made.
Yeah, who got all together in the room and was like, let's do this, and there was enough people to say, yeah, this is a good idea.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I feel like some of this has to be answered by the budget, right? Small budget. But you can see like they used probably a ton of this budget for effects, the whole shit being on fire. How much did that cost? Like, strip it out, strip it down. It's like, ultimately, it's like a very personal story about James and his guilt. And like, you could totally accomplish that with a small budget.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, we like spread the budget over all this shit that we didn't need. And that stuff like doesn't even really deliver. Like, some of the visuals are cool. Like we're talking about, it's probably part of the best, some of the best parts of the movie. But like, Cristophe Gans is like a huge fan of Silent Hill. And I think he did a really great job adapting the first film, but completely missed the mark on this one. And I have to feel like maybe it's just the money, the budget didn't allow him to hire people to help craft this story in a super great way. If that makes sense. Like,
yeah.
Not having the same writer, I think, is like very detrimental to this. Like, they're just like night and day movies. I can't believe how well written actually the first movie now is in comparison to this.
Yeah.
It's rough. Okay, let me tell you about Eddie. Eddie, there's not a ton of information. He is also a runaway. He like maimed a bully and killed a dog before running away to Silent Hill. At some point later in the game, James says something that he gets mad about and he attacks James. So Eddie has to And so Eddie attacks James and he has to kill Eddie in self-defense. I also saw this really cool video where in that interaction, Eddie you can see his breath. He seems like he's in a cold environment, but you don't see that from James.
Oh.
Which adds to the idea that like each person has their own sort of version of Silent Hill.
Oh. I didn't even notice that.
Well, it wasn't in the movie, but it's in the video game. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. I don't have a ton of information about Laura in the game. She is just also an orphan and supposedly befriends Mary. And lastly, I have Maria, who I feel like is similar to the movie version of herself. Like, she is this sort of sexualized or sexual character that just finds James and flirts with him the whole time. But in the game, she gets killed and reappears like multiple times. Like, she'll be killed and then he'll come across her again later. And she doesn't have like that memory of dying. And we already talked about how she's kind of the representation of James's sexual frustration. But I also think it's kind of a representation of him killing her. And she continues to show up and sort of, I don't know, taunt him, I guess.
Yeah, because from a movie point of view, from someone who hasn't played the video games and so had no idea and was just watching the movie, that whole sexualization because he can't have sex with Mary because she's sick. I mean, I obviously it's not have no idea in the movie. Yeah, I see that things are sexualized, but I just assume because, you know, it's a horror movie and they just want to have some, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not anything. They showed a little bit too much butt on the spider. It's not anything that is linked to James. And the one thing about Maria is when she just shows up and she mentions how she's been there for 2 weeks. I was like, you do not look like you've been there for 2 weeks, but it's jolting. It's like, I didn't realize they all had their own experiences within Silent Hill. I'm like, it doesn't look like that. And then he's like, oh my gosh, come on, there's these things. And she's like looking around like, oh my gosh, and running. And I'm like, you don't know those things are there? Like, I mean, you've been there for 2 weeks. If you don't know that those things are there, but because I didn't know that they are seeing different things or experiencing Silent Hill in a different way. Yeah, those were 2 comments. That was another time where I was thinking, dude, you've been there for 2 weeks. How do you, first of all, you're not dirty, fine. But how do you not know that there's these monsters? And then Steve goes, hasn't she been there for 2 weeks?
Yeah. But I mean, again, like I'm giving you video game reasoning, but it doesn't hold. It doesn't hold up for the movie. I mean, I guess it does later when you find out that she is not real.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he's kind of conjured her in some way, but it's a fucking
I didn't
mess.
realize that he conjured her.
Yeah. Right before he like summons Pyramid Head and kills her, he's like, you're not real.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe, because she was aspects of the Mary. I didn't really know what was happening.
Yeah, totally. And that's fair. I don't know.
I didn't know why Mary was leading him down this path.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it. I think it's all him, you know.
Gotcha.
Torturing himself and feeling guilty and just replaying in a way the event over and over again, killing
her. Not cleaning her face correctly.
Yeah.
Not taking very good care of her and then smothering her with a washcloth.
And then, you could put chloroform in there.
Yeah.
You know? And then like that would have been also not funny.
I mean, I get even if someone was begging you to kill them, you would struggle with it. And then if you did it, there would be a part of you that felt like fucking shit. Still, that's a heavy thing to ask somebody to do. And I think you would live with that guilt.
For sure.
But I don't know, Pyramid Head level guilt.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that either. One more note just on the like sexual, like the sexual frustration. I don't think that is ever explicitly stated in the video game in any way. I think it's all very much implied, and it's kind of what, at least to my knowledge, it's what people have put together while reading into the themes of the game. So like, for what that's worth, nothing is ever said outright about Maria being any of this, but like a lot of the monsters are sexual in nature in some way. Like a lot of the monsters are just too like waist down. They're like legs. They're like waist down, but like fused together. I don't know how to like do this, but they're just 2 pair of legs like stuck together at the waist, which I feel like sort of represents like, maybe seeing women as a sexual object only.
Mm-hmm.
No head, no torso, just legs.
Yeah.
So again, I feel like it's just for what it's worth, the movie or even the video game doesn't like super spell that out. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, I was wondering because like as the player of the video game and you're that character, is he like man, I wish I could just get screwed or something like that. That makes you feel like he needs to get some satisfaction or something.
No, I think even I literally am just to the point where I have ran into Maria and we're having interactions. So I'm not super far into it. But the whole time is just fucking awkward and weird. Like she is being very flirty and trying to like flirt with him. And he's just like not having it, at least so far. I don't remember what happens from here. But yeah, I don't like it in the game either for what that's worth. And now I will stop talking about the video game stuff again.
No, that's good though. That was like better than talking about the movie.
I know.
I just felt like if they kept really close to the video game, it would have been really good. Like maybe even spread it out over a couple, maybe have a chapter 1 and chapter 2 if there's so many characters, but with dark stuff and do it justice and just play it out.
Totally. Or just take them out, you know?
Yeah, or take them out. Yeah.
Just make it about James and Mary and take them out. Or like you were kind of saying, you have a lot of plot fodder, you know? Maybe they like run into these people once and then that's the setup for a sequel, you know?
Yeah.
And we do that story later. It's this one all came to like, it just got like shoved together to be this like weird amalgamation of everything that just
like that bed thing.
Nonsensical. Yeah.
Like the daddy, whatever. What did you call it?
It's called Abstract Daddy.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the monsters have names in Silent Hill, so they all have weird names.
Oh, what are they like? What are the things called that we know about? Like those things that spurt out of their chests and stuff.
Yeah, let me look it up.
Okay.
So those are called lying figure.
Okay.
But then you also have like, okay, one is called like a numb body. This one we don't see in any of the movies, but it's in one of the video games, and it's like it kind of looks like a little animal in some weird way. There's one called Valtiel, and that came up in Revelation. Oh, it looks like there's some kind of baby in.
Oh,
there was like a Silent Hill trailer made called PT, I think, and it was a big deal and it looked really scary, but it never got off the ground. But it looks like there's a baby in there, so maybe that is where that inspiration came from. Maybe that would make sense. Anyway, I've always found that interesting that they all have names.
Yeah.
The only other notes I had were just like, I had mentioned this earlier, or I had like alluded to earlier that there are a bunch of weird decisions in like making it. So in the beginning, I was getting so frustrated with the shots of his therapist. Like every time they showed her, it was like through this weird kaleidoscope. Like we were looking at her through the table. You like can't see her face at all.
Yeah.
I just was like, this is such a weird fucking decision. And maybe the intent there was supposed to be like, oh, it's kind of like POV from James. Like she's all fractured and not like, I don't know. I'm really reaching to give it grace, but it was bad.
Thank you for saying this, because I thought this whole time, because they were doing this where you only see your mouth, you only see this or that she was going to end up being one of those characters in Mary's life. All those people that, were all those cult people. I kept scanning the group thinking, oh, she is one of them. And so she's actually manipulating James. But then no.
Yeah. I also thought
when you do something that intentional, when someone's talking in a movie and you're only showing their mouth, typically that means because you're hiding their identity, and later you're going to discover what their identity is.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she was supposed to be one of the.
I don't remember seeing her as one of those people.
I don't either, but that would make sense. That would make sense.
Yeah, because she also is in Silent Hill. I mean, I don't know. Oh, I don't even know. Actually.
Oh, yeah.
But
we don't know.
Yeah, because she goes, where are you? And he goes, I'm going back to Silent Hill. But then she is in Silent Hill in that hospital.
Yeah, but maybe she just went there because she knew he was there.
Yeah, exactly. What was the other things?
I felt like so often throughout the movie, people's lips didn't match what they were saying. Like, which they must have had to go back and like ADR. And it just feels like this got fucking hacked to pieces in the edit almost. Like they realized a lot of shit wasn't working and had to just fucking throw a line over a shot that didn't match. I don't know if you noticed this, but it just kept catching me.
I didn't notice it.
It was rough. We've already talked about the exposition dumping, which was fucking abysmal. And also some of the dialogue was really rough. I also don't know if you noticed this, but at the end when he's talking to Mary and there's like a curtain blowing.
Yep.
In his face.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Why are we doing this?
Why? Was there a point to that? Because I thought the same thing. If I was talking to you, Tawny, this fucking curtain kept blowing in front of my face while I was trying to talk to you. I would have took the curtain and put it behind me.
Yes. I was thinking what was going to happen was that it was going to cover her and then it was going to move and she was going to look different. Like she was going to be scary all of a sudden, you know, dead Mary, whatever.
Again, you're doing something that typically, yes, would lead to something like that or to the portion of the mouth, reveals a character, whatever, but then you're not.
Yeah, totally. So like maybe that was the intent, but it just didn't work or something in the edit. And so they had to fucking use that footage anyway.
I thought that
which
too.
Sucks.
Tuck that curtain back. Oh my God. I'm so glad you said that.
What the hell? Yeah. But there's like so many moments like this throughout the movie. I'm sure there's like a bunch that we don't even remember, really. There's just so many moments where you're like, what the fuck is going on? And I also was like, you know, it's weird that the director talks about I watched a little bit of an interview with him and he talked about not wanting to just remake the movie that he already made. But I feel like somehow, even though we have all this different, weird, convoluted shit, somehow we kind of ended up hitting all the same beats that we did in the first one. Like we have a child running around and a person running after them. And I think what really got like the bugs coming out and covering everything, which I guess looked cool, but we didn't really need it. And really what bothered me was Mary in the bed. It was just way too similar to Alessa being in the bed in the first movie and how she like comes up out of the ground. Like the same thing happens in this movie. And I get that she's like in a hospital bed, so how do you make that different? But it's like they made her up to look like Alessa from the first movie. And I don't know why you would make that decision. They're not related at all.
Maybe this is why the whole time, also not knowing as much about it as you do, that I thought they were the same characters. I thought that there was some sort of a continuation of this story.
Yeah, it makes sense because of those things that feel really similar. And like, again, the similar names, Angela, Alessa. If you hadn't just watched it, you know, you would think that. You would be like, oh, is this related? But the cult seems like totally different also. Like they're not doing any fucking thing that seems...
They weren't like poisoning a kid and bathing in that kid's blood or anything like that in that other cult.
Yeah. You know where it really fucking lost me? The moment in the movie where I was like, oh no, this is bad and we're not going to recover, was after he walks in to their apartment and there's all those people and they leave. There's like weird cult shit going on. They leave. And then he sees back behind her the bust of her father in a recessed secret compartment in the back of their closet. And she goes over and she closes the doors over it. And it's like supposed to be some of the cult symbolism over it. For some reason, that really broke my... I was like, dude, what? Like, I just felt like it was so comically trying to explain to you what was going on, but it was so over the top and in your face that it like threw me out of the movie entirely. And I was like, oh, I don't think we're
not going to recover.
This is unsalvageable.
Yeah. I will say too, when he saw her and he was following her she was in the city and he saw her and she was walking with her friends and they go down this alley. There was a lot he had to do. They got there quick. He was right behind them. Not only did they get through that maze of like crawling through the chain link fence and moving the dumpster and the store, all of this stuff. They also got dressed. Like she was in this white virgin gown and like like boom, boom, boom. They were on top of it. Because by the time he got down there, which just seemed like he was on their heels. They were in it.
Yeah. I agree. That was crazy. He was right behind them.
Behind them.
There's like a fucking 6 of them too or something.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people and they are so quick.
They're normal like jeans and little boots and things like that. And nope, it's full cult gear on stage doing their thing within minutes.
Yeah. Minutes. And like, what the fuck? They don't even try to explain what the fuck is going on there. Like with any of it, like poisoning her with what? To what end? What are they doing? Why is there blood? Whose blood is that? Are they eating her? They must not, because she's like not dead.
Yeah, what is she bleeding out of?
Well,
like,
even
does the drink make her bleed? Then her body is fine?
Well, even in the movie, she says, and that little tape recorder, she says, is this my blood? So it might not even be her blood.
That's right. You're right.
But if it's not her blood, whose blood is it? Why? Mm-hmm. What are we doing? So they're just pouring blood all over her and then like licking it off of her body. Like, why? What?
Yeah, they give her poison. What poison? Like, what does it do? Because it doesn't make her compliant per se. It seems like she's not in this weird drug comatose way throughout her days. She has like a normal relationship with him and everything. She seems more mind controlled. Like she grew up in this and she doesn't feel comfortable with it. She doesn't want to be in it anymore, but she doesn't know how to get out. Totally get it. So what's the drug for? What is he drugging her for?
Who fucking knows?
Yeah. Why?
There are like no answers. It's totally.
Or gives her this drug just so she goes, when they do the thing where they're all holding her and then pour blood on her and lick it off her. She knows it's happening. She probably would just be like, I'll just lie there. Go ahead, do your thing.
It's so weird. I hate this part. Like, why do this? Why would you do this?
I did also hate why in the beginning, because this goes along with it, it just seems so awkward because she finally wants to get away. It's so quick she changed her mind. So quick.
Yep. She's like, never mind. Go ahead.
And now let's be here and stay here.
Yeah.
Even though that stuff happens, you know what's going to happen. That's why you tried to escape. I tried to escape before. Yeah, you told the bus to leave because the latch on your suitcase was broken. Like, you didn't try.
Why can't you go now? He even tells her, like, come with me.
Yeah, let's go right now.
Yeah. Stupid. Dumb.
Yeah, I'm bummed. I'm sorry. That's fuck.
It's not your fault.
No, but it's still.
Okay, does this mean that we are ready to rate this movie?
Yes, I think that's what it means.
Okay. All right, you want to kick us off?
Okay, so I'm going to go for this. I'm trying to get a little bit looser on my not obsessing so much on scores.
Okay.
Probably regret it as soon as we stop recording. No, but I think I'm going to give it a 2.75.
Ooh, okay.
Because I don't know if that hoo-hoo was like, because that seems high or that seems low. I guess we'll find out. The reason is I was looking at some other movies that I scored a 2.75, and there were some things where I went, is probably the experience again, going with my husband, just chilling. There were some cool visual elements. I appreciated the video game look a lot more this time. So I think things that normally would really bug me, like acting, didn't affect me as bad. And then there were some others that were like 2.7 that I actually thought, oh no, I didn't. I enjoyed this viewing experience more than that. So what did I give it? 2.7?
2.75?
Oh, I gave it a 2.75?
I think so. I think that's what you said.
Maybe I'll give it a 2.7.
Okay.
Yeah, 2.7.
Okay.
That's, yeah.
Okay.
Like In a Violent Nature, still, like,
yes,
I would watch this 6 more times than watch that half of that movie one more time.
I agree. I went straight for that score. I was like,
yes.
Had to remind myself. What did I give that? Oh, a 0.25. That's In a Violent Nature.
Safe. It was safe.
Okay, I'm gonna give this a 1.75.
Okay.
So I was surprised that yours was high.
Okay.
Higher than I thought maybe it would be, but I think that's fair. If you kind of take out the like comparing to the video game story stuff, I can't look away. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't. This was so bad, dude. This was like one of the worst, I think, horror movies I've seen in a long time. Like, it felt just all over the place. Terrible decisions. The plot is like just a fucking convoluted mess. And on top of all that, it doesn't even feel like it has any heart. You know, it just feels like a totally soulless, like, empty movie, which is so crazy because it's just like the opposite of the experience of the game plot. So, you know, there's that. And then also, I mean, there were some cool visual moments, but like, I famously hate Silent Hill Revelation because it sucks, because it's a terrible movie. But I actually think this is worse, which
it is
crazy to say because I like did not think that we could go lower than that movie. But it had me thinking back to that movie like fondly. Like at least that movie kind of stayed. It didn't introduce unnecessary new shit. It kind of stayed close to the plot of that third game. And it did connect itself back to the first movie. And it was rough. It was a bad movie, but I think this is worse because this is also like more boring. And I feel like that movie didn't take itself super seriously. Like it was kind of campy, but I think it knew it was kind of campy. This movie, and none of that. Like we don't have any of that saving grace. It just feels super hollow. It feels like one of those movies that like, you know how you'll get into a series and somebody makes a sequel, but like no one's in it that was like from the beginning. It's just like a cash grab straight to fucking DVD version of that. Like that is what I can't actually even believe that there was a theater release. It's rough.
Gosh, now that you're saying all this, I feel bad that I even suggested it just to make myself clear. The Snoop Dogg interludes on his CD are
good.
They're excellent. They fit. I just meant it was just like a piece. That's all I meant. Just so everybody knows.
You're right. Do not compare this.
No, I was trying to explain what I meant by, if I said interlude, I wanted to make sure that I was using the right word. And then I put it in context, but it's nothing to do with Snoop. Snoop is interludes. Way better than this. But I will agree. When I was driving home, I had said to Steve, I don't really remember what Revelations was about, but I do remember liking Pyramid Head and seeing a lot of him. And I do believe I like it way better than this movie, even though I don't remember what it was about.
Yeah, I really questioned myself. I was like, I even kind of like watched Silent Hill Revelation in the background while I was doing research, just to kind of remind myself. And like, that movie sucks. It is bad, but at least it's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of exciting stuff that happens. But I really struggled. I waffled. Like, is this worse or better? I think in the end, I decided it's worse. And so
Well,
I don't know what I would rate Silent Hill 3D. I keep calling it 3D because it's Silent Hill Revelation 3D is the full title of the movie, but I think I'd have to rate that higher.
Yeah, I think your score is probably more spot on than mine. I was having date night, I was excited. Yeah. But I understand, because if it was a story that I love,
yeah,
and they just trash it, there's that visceral anger, feeling almost offended that I am a fan of this and you screwed it all up. That type of an anger that goes along with your experience, which I didn't. We watched Revelations a couple years ago, and then, gosh, 4 years ago we watched Silent Hill for the first time and did an episode on it. So I didn't remember really I just remembered those main parts of those movies that are burned into my memory.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the same reaction. I thought to myself, oh shit, I should have rewatched all those movies. I don't really know what's going on with these characters, but no, apparently I didn't need to do that. So
no, it absolutely would not have helped. I mean, not connected in any way other than the town of Silent Hill. Yeah. I'm glad you understand. It's like personal. That's why it hurts. It hurts me that this was made the way that it was.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, just because the pain you must be feeling. Because it was the pain I was feeling when, people are going to go for love of God, when they made The Dark Half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someday we'll have to watch that just to experience that visceral pain for you too.
Yeah. Maybe we've talked about doing a bad movie month.
Yeah.
We should do that. I say it so hesitantly because it's really hard to say, oh, this is going to be bad. And but I'm still going to watch it. It's so hard for me to do that. I don't want to spend time watching something that's shit. But a lot of the times when I rate things bad, though, I do think I should go back and watch just because of my experience of The Lodge.
Yes. Yeah.
Tonight, at your dinner tables or at some point, just have a moment of silence for Tawny's heart. Experience of this movie and all Silent Hill fans.
Yes, yeah.
And if you've seen The Return to Silent Hill, share your favorite scenes if there are any. Even if it is in a joking way, like this was my favorite worst scene. This is what I thought was the worst or the best, whatever. If you have some quotes, if you have theories, it sounds like there's not many theories you need to have because it's all really like if you haven't played the games, you might go, oh, I have a theory, and you're probably wrong because it's all laid out in the games.
Yeah.
But anyways, share with us on social media using the hashtag 2ChicksInAHorrorFlick. And while you're there, if you like us, I hope you do, please give us a follow. And what else, Tawny?
You can support the show by giving us a like, review, and subscribe on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. Yeah, that's it for this episode. We'll see you next time. We hope you have such a good night. No nightmares.